Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Gloria, aka Laboom Like. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you about a few Black owned sewing patterns that you can make up this February. And maybe at the end, I'll toss in just a teeny tiny little bit of a rant, just a teeny tiny bit of some venting. But anywho, let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, um, how do I say this? There's a lot I want to say, but I also want to keep it short today, and I don't need people playing in my face. Every February in the United States is Black History Month. Um, and in the sewing community, in the past few years, there has been a tradition of kind of honoring and celebrating that month by sewing up more Black pattern designers, sewing up some patterns by Black pattern designers, and incorporating as many Black business owners in your sewing practice as possible. I really like that tradition. I like that way to honor the month while working on your hobby and just kind of incorporating that in your life. Um, it, it I'm going to save some stuff for my rant at the end. But anyways, for me, I really enjoy the spotlight that comes back onto people, Black people in the sewing community during this time. And at the same time, there's no reason it only has to happen in February. But if this is the one time a year where you kind of get to experience a little bit more variety in the sewing community and you see the spotlight on a little bit more of a diverse group of people, whether that's in your Instagram feeds, in your YouTube videos, or just in the paper ads that you see, I think that is a net positive. And on that note, I wanted to give some of my Black pattern designer pattern picks for people who are having a little bit trouble figuring out what they're going to sew or finding some new patterns to sew. So I'm going to start off with a pattern company that I like. I have bought a few patterns from, and on my list of pattern picks from myIviye, or I think it's pronounced myIviye. My pattern pick from myIviye is the Abby or the Bibi dress. It is an oversized, loose fitting mini dress. Perfect, beautiful. No notes, no complaints. I love it. And it's, I think, the item that's been on my list the longest since the first two makes that I've made from them. I know that their patterns tend to run a little bit loose, even for the oversized items, from what I've heard from other people making them up. And their pattern directions for some people, if you're a very, very beginner, might be a little bit sparse. So I was gonna pick the EVA gown because there have been so many people who have made it up. So if you are a beginner, you can look at some other people's makes. But the Bibi dress, the Abby dress, is my favorite. So that's my pick for myIviye. My next pick comes from another company that I really, really love. It is from Style Sew Me, and that's the Misa pants. I love this pattern. I think it's simple. I think it's effortlessly stylish. There's a way to take it super casual and a way to make it smart casual depending on your fabric choices. I like this silhouette for shorts and for pants. For me and my measurements, I do have to make an adjustment in their patterns and widen the hips a little bit, but I have to do so a lot less than I do in some of the big four commercial patterns. So that is my pick. I love the Misa pants. If you're looking for something to sew up, this is a great pick. Okay, so the first two patterns I mentioned, I have experience sewing up that pattern brand. And the next few patterns I may not have experience with, but I picked out things that looked really, really, really interesting. These would be new pattern companies to me and probably gonna land on my sewing buy list or my sewing wish list this year. So you have probably heard of Kosedo Studios. I think that they were one of the Sew Your View pattern makers for one of the recent months. This pattern designer has some very I think kind of classic feminine styles mixed with like that one like current piece to add to them. So there's not a lot of patterns here, but I think that what they've done, they just do well. I picked the Anok dress because I love the silhouette of this dress, and I really love how many hacking options there are for it. I just see it going a lot of different ways, and I see it going all the way from something almost like 90s inspired baby doll, even though it's not non-pair waist, but a 90s inspired kind of look, all the way to like a more like trendy romantic look. There's a lot of things you can do with this pattern, and I really, really like it. So that's why it's on my list. So another pattern company that I just learned about is New Vintage Lady. I do not sew vintage patterns very often. I don't necessarily see myself in that like 30s, 40s, 50s aesthetic, but I know that a lot of people do really like those styles. And from what I have seen, especially in the commercial pattern world, there aren't as many patterns available in a wide array of sizes. I've seen things that top out at like the 48, 50-inch hip range. And I really like this pattern company because I think they go up to 60 inches and maybe beyond that for the hip range. The pattern that I picked from them is something that I would sew. I really like it, and it might actually make it in my shopping cart. Like I said, I don't do a lot of 30s, 40s, and 50s silhouettes, but for lingerie and undergarments, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Just as something to lounge around the house in, no joke. So I don't know what this pattern name is called. I think it's just number 8. What is it? I think it's just number 1828. It is a vintage inspired bra top and some tap pants, and I just think they look so cute, so beautiful. I love the style of them, and I could see myself wearing them at home with a long duster and just relaxing once it gets a little warmer out here. So I really, really like that pattern. That's New Vintage Lady. The next pattern company is run by somebody I've been following on Instagram for a little while. I'm going to put the Instagram handle up here. The pattern company is called Made It Patterns, and there are no misses in this pattern shop. And by that, I mean it's all hits. There are misses sizes, but it's all hits, no misses. Love it. This was really, really hard for me to pick what I would really like out of their patterns. And I ended up picking the Glide jacket because the jacket is on my Make 9 list. So if I bought a pattern from this company, this would be at the top of my list. It is a beautiful classic jacket with some unique style lines, giving you the option to use some color blocking or some different fabrics. I love it. I love the styling on everything. There's a lot of basics plus in this pattern shop. So check them out. That's Made It Patterns. So those are indie patterns, but if you are somebody that mostly buys commercial patterns, especially if you're in the US, I understand they're so affordable when you hit a pattern sale, and you can get a $2, sometimes a $1 pattern. There are some Black pattern designers who have partnered with those commercial pattern companies. So one of the patterns that I really like that's in my stash, and I've sewn up one of the items from this pattern, but the thing I'm picking is the jacket in it. It is McCall's 7635. That's a Kalia Ali pattern. And I think you have the basics. You have a top and pants, super basic, super useful in anybody's wardrobe. And the jacket gives me an 80s cool vibe that I just love. Once I get the perfect fabric in my collection for this, I'm making up this pattern. And you can check out there's a lot of people, not a lot actually, not a lot of people on Instagram that I've seen make up this jacket, but I do know that Brittany J. Jones made it sometime last year, I believe. So check out her YouTube, check out her Instagram. She has made up McCall's 7635. I don't have a specific pattern number for this designer because I've liked so many different things that they've made, but I'm not adding any very involved advanced makes into my list. But if you are buying Vogue patterns this month, look out for some Tracy Reese patterns. Another Black pattern designer who has teamed up with one of the commercial pattern brands. Everything that Tracy Reese makes is beautiful. They're so gorgeous. There's some more advanced makes in there. Again, it is Vogue. Tracy Reese is a dress designer that has some beautiful, beautiful dresses out there. And these patterns are lovely. So check out Tracy Reese when you're looking at Vogue patterns. So last but not least, and maybe leading into my rant a little bit, I have Simplicity 9338. Of course, I'm sticking men's pattern in there. Obviously, you can make it for any gender. I really love this pattern. I originally picked out this pattern for myself. And then when I was looking at it and deciding what to make, because I was just going to make these shorts and adjust the hips so that they would fit me. My partner also really likes this pattern. And he said, oh, well, if you make me something athletic, make me this pattern. And I thought he was really into the shorts because obviously they're the easier item. But he was like, no, I like the pants. So I'm like, oh, okay. I don't make things for other people very often, even my partner. I sew for myself. I don't find it selfish. It's my hobby. But I would like to make him something. And if I do, I'm going to try to make those pants. Simplicity 9338. That is a simplicity pattern, of course. It's under the myIviye umbrella. myIviye, not Black, or at least she's never said she's Black, and I don't believe she is. But it is Norris Danta Ford's pattern under her umbrella, under Simplicity. So that's how that works in there. So yeah, I hopefully that this has been helpful. You've been able to see a few new pattern designers. Also, if you are on Instagram and you're following Pink Mimosa by Jacinta, she compiled this list and asked for input from the sewing and crafting community so that if you are looking for some businesses to support in your craft and in your hobby that are a little bit more diverse than the ones you currently are able to buy, whether that's racially diverse, ethnic diversity, gender diversity, gender expression, sexual orientation, all kinds of things. She has compiled a list so that you're able to more easily find the companies and the creators that you want to support. That's been really helpful for me, and you should check it out. It'll probably be really helpful for you as well, because there are Black makers out there. It just not might be showing up in your feeds for one reason or another. Okay, before I go on, I can't believe that I forgot Aisha of the Crafterpreneur. She has amazing patterns. Everything she does is beautiful, but I really love the Sabrina sweatshirt. It's available as a PDF pattern, and she has a sew along for it, so you should definitely check her out. And on that, we're going to get into my rant. Okay. I obviously haven't written down anything for this video. I just had an intense emotional reaction to something I saw earlier. And like most people, when I'm recording this, MLK Day was yesterday in the US. And I just saw, I want to say it was Monique Judge who tweeted this, but it was the perfect sentiment for the day. She said, and today marks the day when, what, I'm going to find the tweet. I'm going to find the tweet. Okay, so I found this tweet that was going around yesterday, and it just like really summed things up well. But it said, Today is a big day for racists posting quotes of a man they don't want to let their kids learn existed. And that is the sentiment that I feel a lot of times when I see anything advertising to me during Black History Month and on MLK Day. And I truly, I have never had the energy for it, but I really, truly don't have the energy for it now. I saw, I was looking through the JoAnn ad. I think it had just switched over. So I was looking through the JoAnn ad just to see, okay, what patterns are about to be on sale. And it's about to be February. So obviously they were advertising some of the Black History Month stuff that they're going to do. And JoAnn has been one of those companies before 2020 that has done some things in their Black History Month ads that I've emailed them and been like, this was preposterous. This was ridiculous. I need to tell you why this is wrong. Who said this was okay? JoAnn has done some wild stuff in the name of Black History Month in their JoAnn ads. But I saw this ad, and for some of you right now, you'll be looking at it and think like, well, what's wrong? I don't see anything wrong with this. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know if I am, and I will apologize and change my views, because you can always change your opinions. But I saw this ad and I was like, what's going on here? Okay, they're advertising Black History Month and they chose not to use a black pattern here. And it could have been so easy. They used a myIviye set of patterns. Yes, who has Black children and a Black husband. I've never heard this woman call herself Black. I think it's one of those things where if you're not Black, maybe you've gotten confused. And myIviye is so popular and has a lot of Black people around her. But this woman has never... This is not on myIviye. I don't think this is on myIviye. Let me make myself as clear as possible about what I'm saying. As far as I know, I don't think this is on myIviye. I've never heard that woman call herself Black. I haven't very much. I haven't really seen blackfishing from myIviye. She doesn't hide who her parents are. I don't think this woman did this. I think JoAnn said, here we go, it's Black History Month. Who knows a lot of Blacks? We can't possibly put a Black pattern on here, but who's cool with all the Blacks? Yeah, let's put myIviye on here. When it was so easy. They could have just put one of the Norris patterns on here. And that still works for the Simplicity pattern sale and a Black pattern maker. Like, I don't understand why they did that. But this is what JoAnn does. And JoAnn's not the only one. That's just the place that I shop for my patterns when I buy commercial patterns. But this stuff aggravates me so much. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. It's one of the reasons that during February, I'm just like, no new friends. I can start talking to new people in March, but in February, it's only people I've been knowing. This is just aggravating. Please let me know. I can't be the only one who is like, what's happening here? If you know something that I don't know about myIviye, you let me know. Once again, I don't think this woman did this. I think JoAnn headquarters said, you know what'll look good on an ad? Let's put this here. This is not the right way to do it. Don't play in our faces. Stop this, JoAnn. Okay. On that note, if I have been able to share some new pattern designers with you, please like or comment on this video. Comment and let me know if you have any other pattern designers that we need to check out. If you're a small indie pattern designer, please drop your handles below so that I can learn about you and hopefully some other people can learn about you as well. I definitely want to add to my list of indie pattern designers that I know, and especially if you have some different design styles and something unique about yourself. Okay, thanks y'all. Peace.